Hello, and happy Tuesday. Sorry, my phone is really loud today. Normally it's on silent, but of course it's not right now that I'm recording. At any rate, hi, happy Tuesday. As you all know, I'm a dating and relationship coach, and primarily I do work with women who are feeling stuck in love and looking to find a partner and learn how to date in a way that helps them find a really good partner. And I'm definitely talking to women in this group today. And I'm also talking to any woman or man, I guess, who's feeling stuck in some way in their lives. If you're feeling like you're not getting what you want out of life, you're not satisfied with your career, you're not satisfied with your relationship status, you're not happy with your weight, whatever you are struggling with. When you're facing these struggles, there are a handful of things that are typically getting in your way. And I want to talk about the top 5 things that are getting in your way and help you sort of think your way past some of those, because they really get in. They're really just sucking the joy out of your life, and you have bigger things to do. You have better things to do with your life than let these things get in your way. And I'm going to share something a little bit vulnerable when I speak back against these stuck points, because how it is I see this might sound a little harsh at first, and I don't want it to come off as harsh. I really want you to understand things I've seen and things I've experienced in my life so that you can know where this comes from. And it comes from a place of deep love and deep respect for who you are as a human being and the gift that you're really here to give. So, what is it that's keeping you stuck? And if you are a single woman who really wants a partner and you're out there dating and you're doing this on your own and you hear about mindful dating, you're like, nope, I don't need help, I've got this. Or if you are stuck in your career and you just feel like it's not quite getting you where you need to be, and you just don't want to do coaching because you've got this is for you. So the first thing that I encounter when people are feeling stuck, the number one thing that they tell me is the reason they're stuck in lives, the reason that they can't get the better job, the reason that they can't do coaching so that they can eliminate the barriers and obstacles within. I don't have time. I don't have time for growth. I don't have time to make these changes. I don't have time for coaching. I'm really busy. I don't have time to devote to improving myself, learning relationship skills. I'm really busy. So time is the first thing. People are too busy to invest in coaching, too busy to invest in training of any kind. And a lot of times too busy, they say, to fill out job applications, to work on their resume, work on cover letters, too busy to invest in growth, invest in themselves. And I'm going to speak back to all of this at the end. I'm just going to go through this list of things and really talk back to why this is happening. The second thing people say is money. I don't have the money to afford coaching, or I'm not in a financial situation I'm proud of. I can't move out of state. I can't take this training program that I really want to take to get me ahead in my life because I don't have money. I can't invest in the networking group because I don't have money. I don't have money to pay for dating apps. I don't have money to pay for dates. I don't feel proud of my financial situation. I don't want to let anyone know what is going on with me. The third thing that gets in people's way, and this comes in a bunch of varieties, but it's a bunch of fears. And I'm going to say all of these fears really represent different parts within a person's part system. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to break these 3 things down into 3 different types of fears that really, when you hear into it and listen into it, these are the fears that get in people's way the most. 1, fear of failure. I've never seen anyone succeed at this thing I want to do. So I haven't seen any relationships that I really want to be in. I haven't had many relationships that were satisfying. I've never been happy. So how do I really know what that's going to look like anyway? I don't want to get my hopes up. I'll just get disappointed. I don't want to get my heart broken. I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to try to go for that promotion because what if I don't get it? I'll be so disappointed. I'll feel like a failure. Whatever that goal is that you're out there wanting, those fears will hold you back from even trying because there's such a fear of failure that you don't want to even try. Fear of success, believe it or not, is another issue people face. Success. Oh, that happy relationship. I can't even imagine it. That's way outside my comfort zone. Me, vice president, I have no idea that like I can't imagine myself in those shoes. What would I have to do to get that? I bet I would have to work too hard. I bet I would have to compromise my values or change my life in ways I can't even imagine. What if I lose my friends? What if I end up moving? What if this means that I have to change jobs? And this goes for whether you want to have like a higher position in life, bigger paycheck, more fulfilling work, or whether you want a partner. What if I have to have a new job? What if I need to move? The fifth thing, and it's the third fear, because the fears we're going to break down, is the fear of having your worst fears confirmed. And at the bottom of it, the worst fear of all underneath is that you're not worthy, that you're not worthy of love, that you're not worthy of the good things in life. And that is the secret fear that's buried deep underneath all of these other layers. And I want to share with you how I sort of look at this and what I want to say back to this. When I hear people talk about, I don't have time, I don't have money, what if it doesn't work? I'd rather not try. I don't want to get my hopes up. What if this means I have to change my life? It'll be really outside my comfort zone. And oh my God, what if I find out I'm not worthy? So I want to talk to this, and it's a really vulnerable thing I'm about to share. I don't talk about this a lot, but my brother of blessed memory was addicted to heroin. He was 10 years older than me. And from the time it was about 9 or 10, my brother developed a heroin addiction, and it really changed my life dramatically. Prior to that time, he was my light. He was the charming person who brought light and love into my life. And then he started shooting heroin, and life got really different and pretty dismal. By the time he was in his early 20s, he had permanently lost his driver's license in the state of Illinois because of all the DUIs he had. So he couldn't drive himself anywhere, including he couldn't drive himself to work. So every morning while I was in high school, he lived with us. So he was 24, 25, 26, 27, in his mid-20s, living at home with his mom. His friend would come pick him up for work every morning because my brother couldn't get to work without a ride. And he didn't have money to do it, couldn't have money to live in his own home, couldn't get to work without a ride. So he didn't have time or money for the things that he said were important to him and to the things that most of us think are important. And one day I saw my brother get on his bicycle. It was raining. It was just starting to rain, but it was clear that it was going to be a downpour. And he rode his bike several miles away. And I knew where he was going. I knew he was going to score some heroin. I knew for a fact that's where he was heading. And it hit me that he could get on a bicycle to go get drugs, but he couldn't get on a bike to go to a job. And let that sink in for a minute. Because what it told me in that moment, and I was maybe 16 at the time, was that people pretty much get what they make the time and money to get. They get what is their top priority. My brother couldn't get a job sometimes because it wasn't his priority. He couldn't get to work without someone doing it for him because it wasn't his top priority. Drugs were his priority, and it was a messed up priority. I want to say, first of all, don't judge my brother a whole lot. I grew up in the same family he did. I know why he was shooting heroin. It totally makes sense. And it was a tragic life, and it was a tragic loss of a person's life. But seriously, the reality is that you probably have the time or money and you just don't know it. You can make the time, you can find the money for the things that matter to you. And I know that sounds harsh. And I know you're thinking, wow, I'm in such a bad situation. Maybe immediately, if you're not paying your bills, you might need a little help right in this minute, but you can improve your financial situation. You can improve your love life. You can find the money for coaching. You can find the money for the things that matter to you. You can invest that. You can invest your time in yourself, in your success, and in the things that matter to you. It's a matter of recognizing what is truly important and recognizing that how you allocate resources is a demonstration of where your values are. So where are you not in alignment with your values? That thing that you really want, the thing that you say you want that will help you be more satisfied in life, that will help you be more fulfilled, that'll bring more joy, more alignment, more pride, more well-being. Where are you not in alignment? how can you get yourself in better alignment? And that's related to the time and money thing. I think this every time people say, well, I don't have time or I don't have money. Make that time, find the money, because it's your life. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of having your worst fears confirmed. I want to tell you, those things held me back for a really long time in my life. And to some degree, they can still get the better of me now from time to time, because everybody has a part system. I'm no different than everyone else. And I still have some parts that carry some fears about things like that. Like, I grew up in a family where it made a whole lot more sense to shoot heroin than it did to go to medical school. So going on to college, becoming a physician, that didn't make sense for the household I grew up in. But I moved ahead in that direction anyway, and I definitely was afraid of failure. But here's the thing. What did I really have to lose? What did I have to lose? If I did what was expected of me or normal of me, my life would have been miserable. My life would have been awful. I saw what happened with my brother. I didn't want my life to be that way. I wanted something better. So even though I was afraid I might fail at it, I had to put myself into my own success. I had to put myself into it fully and face that fear of failure. And then there's the other thing. Fear of success. Yep. Making your life more satisfying and fulfilling is 100% outside your comfort zone. If your comfort zone is dissatisfaction, if your comfort zone is putting up with abuse, lack of respect for you and your boundaries, if it is being underappreciated and undervalued in your workplace, if that's your comfort zone, please get out of it. You deserve better. My comfort zone as a 16-year-old was living in a household where somebody was shooting heroin in the bathroom on a regular basis. There were people around me that were drinking and fighting, and there was a lot of chaos. That was my comfort zone. I deserved better than that, and I created it for myself. You deserve better than your comfort zone also. So if your comfort zone is what's holding you back, if you're afraid of change and you're afraid to step into that amazing life that is waiting for you, please do the world a favor and get out of that comfort zone, because you can't give your best until you're living your best life. And we all want your best. We all need it. The world needs you at your best. Thirdly, fear of having your worst fears confirmed. That fear that maybe you're not worthy of the good stuff. That fear that maybe you're not lovable. And, really, if you just kick back and you make excuses and you say you don't have time and you say you don't have money and you let your fears run your life, then you don't have to face that. You can always just say, well, I didn't give it my best, or I didn't try. And then you don't have to really deal with that fear deep down inside that maybe you're not worthy of that good life. I want to tell you something. You are so, so lovable. You are loved by the God/universe/force of life, source of life that brought you here and sustains you with every breath. And in Jewish tradition, there's a prayer that we say every morning, thanking God for reinsouling us when we wake up. And there's another prayer that thanks God for breathing our life into us and recognizes that the life we breathe, the life that's living us, isn't really ours. We're not totally, we didn't start this show, and we're kind of sustained by forces well beyond us. And we sort of owe something back to that force. So if you are living in this place where you're making excuses for why you're unsatisfied, you don't have the time to invest in yourself, you don't have the money to invest in yourself, you're really afraid that you might fail, or worse, you might succeed and then things will change, or you're afraid of your unworthiness, please know you are worthy, and also the world is worthy of your best. The world, like if you watch the news, you're like, why should I give my best? Look at what's going on out there. But truthfully, in your heart of hearts, don't you wish that when you watched the news, what you saw was a bunch of people out there giving their best instead of giving the stuff that's happening? So this all comes back to really knowing what your priorities are. Now, for me at the time that I hired a dating coach, my priority was finding a partner. I knew, like, I had rebuilt my whole life from having it been destroyed by an ex, rebuilt my whole life. built back up to the 6-figure income, had the car, had the house, had all the things, but I didn't have someone to share it with. And I knew that that's what I wanted. And I was in with both feet, and I invested the time and the money. And I was so scared I would fail. But what would happen if I failed? I'd end up without a partner, just like I started. So what would I really stand to lose? Not a whole lot. I was also afraid I'd succeed because I'd have to get out of my comfort zone. I'd have to learn to let somebody love me. Wow. That actually has been harder than it's been harder than you'd think. It's also been amazing and wonderful. And I'm super happy I got over that fear. And then there was the getting over the fear that deep inside, I'm not worthy and I'm not lovable. And I have discovered that I actually am worthy and lovable. And I want to say this to everybody that listens to my podcast, everybody that watches my videos, every woman that does my mindful dating intensive. You are so lovable, so, so, so lovable. We just need to get you in a place where you can let somebody love you and where you can find that person who's already out there looking for you, but you aren't being you, and so they can't find you. And if you happen to be working on different issues that you want to work on in success, like career issues or just feelings of life purpose, that's something that I work on in private coaching as well. So even though I mostly do the dating coaching, that is mostly what I talk about 99 times out of 100 when I'm on here. What I want to say is I do some other things as well. And this list of things really is an excuse. These are inner obstacles and you can overcome them. And I can help. If you are ready to stop holding yourself back from living your best life, please book your free, no obligation meet and greet 15-minute talk with me. Let's get acquainted. Let's see if we have even enough chemistry in that 15-minute session to see if it makes sense for us to think about working together more. I'm going to pop the link in the chat right now. And I would love to hear how this is resonating with you. I know this was a really vulnerable one for me, so I'm not asking you necessarily to take care of me, but I would like to know how it resonates to sort of hear my perspective. And I know, like I said, it comes from having a sort of harsh experience, and it can sound sort of harsh to say. People get what they most prioritize getting. People have the time and the money for what they think is really important. It was a really hard, painful lesson to watch, but learning it has set me free to create a life that I could never have imagined when I was 16. Could never imagine being loved like this, having the house I have, having supportive friends, feeling as joyful as I do every day of my life. So thank you so much for listening. I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.